Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today we are thinking about emotional wealth. That's a thinker. And we are lucky to have Cindy here who's going to help us think about this in a whole new way. So thank you so much, Cindy, for coming on to my show and helping us think about this in a new light. So when you think about emotional wealth, what does that make you think about?
Yeah, thank you, Mitzi. My business is Mind Garage, and for 15 years roughly, I've delivered over 10,000 hours of mindset coaching and keynote speaking, helping elite professionals, business owners, and entrepreneurs create spectacular lives and businesses. And emotional wealth is one of the key conversations that comes up
Yeah.
with individuals. Emotional wealth to me is having a bank of emotions that you want to feel on a daily basis that guide your life on a moment by moment, and that you're having the opportunity to actually select those emotions rather than go to what is a default position that most people do. So it's a very conscious mindfulness way of living in an emotional state.
Oh, I love that. And I don't think a lot of people think about it that way, where you're able to have all of these emotions available to you and utilizing them in a way that really enhances your day-to-day life, where every day you can experience these emotions in such a way that it's like, oh, it's a different type of experience of living and enjoying your day because you can feel everything and not reject it. You know what I mean? And not push it away, resent it, or have anything else pop up that doesn't really make sense. You know what I mean? You really know how to become one with yourself. So it's like for you, Cindy, when did you realize that your emotional wealth was important?
I learned how to meditate when I was 21. So for over 40, close to 40 years now, I've been developing the skill of looking at mindfulness and mindset. And when you work with mindfulness, you use something that we as humans have really uniquely and specifically. We have metacognition, which is, a fancy word for saying that the brain's got the skill to look at itself. So when you have the chance to have a, look at what it is that you're thinking, because with every thought comes an emotion, and with every heightened emotional state comes more thinking, and then you get more feeling, and then you get more thinking, etc., etc. And they generally escalate together. You get, stronger feelings, more thinking about it, and you can get into that mental churn of it. So from my very early 20s, it's been, a life's work of being able to observe my mind and have a look at, what is it that I'm thinking? How is it that I'm feeling? And is that actually what I consciously want to think and feel on a daily basis? Does that help me live a spectacular life? Or am I purely just running old patterns of thoughts, beliefs, behaviors from past experience? So it's been a life's work. And it's a part of my life that I just adore and love, and I'm still working in that space, and I absolutely adore it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's a work in progress. It's an everyday
Yeah.
situation. It's not like, oh, once you hit 40, you're done. Once you hit 50, you're done. No. You are going to be mindfully working on this because things are always going to pop up. Life is spontaneous. We don't know what's coming. You know what I mean? Until it knocks on the door and be like, hello, I'm here. You know what I mean? It really does become spontaneous where you have to consciously realize what are you thinking about? Where is it leading me? Is it leading me down something that I don't really want to tap into right now? Am I being present? Am I putting my focus in everything that I'm doing right in front of me? You know what I mean? You really do have to be mindful about your thoughts and your emotions and your activities and your day to day. And I don't think people really do that. And in your words, why do you think people aren't tapping into a mindfulness attitude?
I think it's probably an education piece for one. That's why I feel so
Yeah.
passionate about education. I
Yeah.
think when you learn what it is that's going on in your mind. When you learn things like, well, the mind, the brain is essentially an artifact. It's essentially a record of everything in your past, right?
Mhm.
And all it's doing is running on what's called a default mode network,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is a series of self-reflective brain regions that in 5 to 30 seconds of waking replay old thoughts, old beliefs, old patterns. And I think once you actually understand that in that moment, then you have choice. And choice is very empowering for an individual when you know and then you take action to say, well, I know this is going on for me, but I can now choose to either follow that old pattern or I can choose something that's going to serve me a greater good, something that's going to create what it is that I'm in my life, that I get to choose my thoughts. And when I
Yeah.
choose my thoughts, something more empowering, let's say something as simple as, I can
Yeah.
or yes, right?
Yeah.
I can, and I'm safe, or I choose calm, something like
Yes.
that. When I get to choose thoughts like that, I then create the associated feelings like relaxation, positivity, confidence,
Yeah.
love, kindness, compassion, all of those things. So I
Yeah.
would say that's a key piece, education, and then taking some action. Actually decide,
Yeah.
you know what? The power lies with me. The power lies with me to actually choose first thing in the morning. What do I want to think? How do I want to feel today? That's
Yeah.
empowering. That's a beautiful thing.
Oh, absolutely. And I love your response. Education, absolutely. I don't think a lot of people even understand that this is available, that this is an option, that this is something that they should lean on to. You know what I mean? They're not taught this because maybe they're just always in survival mode and just trying to survive for the next day. And when you're always in survival mode, you don't really get to relax and you don't really speak to yourself in a kind way sometimes, and you don't always get to think things in a kind way because you're just trying to survive and live another day. And a lot of people from all around the world are just trying to survive. But I think when we have these conversations and give people their power back, realizing like, hey, you can think differently because just like you said earlier about the default setting. Oh, I love that. I love how you said that because that's one thing that I say all the time. Like, stop defaulting. You know what I mean? You need to move forward. You have a refresh program. You've been updated. So move if you know better, do better. So yes, I absolutely believe that because we don't realize that sometimes some of the stressors that come into our lives can put us into that default setting when we feel so much stress or we feel overwhelmed or frustrated, and so many emotions can come, sorrow, you know what I mean, even can really put you back into those default settings. And it's like when we recognize that that's where you're leading towards, you can take that moment to pause. Oh, the power of pause is real because when you're able to just pause and just breathe and just close your eyes and just remember where you're at, it's like you said, you can gain that confidence back. You can gain that reassurance back. You can gain that I'm safe, I'm sound. I don't need my child life innocence to try to save me and step in. Like we're not going to go there. I'm okay and I'm good. And I think that is something valuable that a lot of people really need to remember. Like that's the wealth in your emotions. You know what I mean? Right there, knowing that you can bring yourself back to Zen and back to like centered. So, what really motivates you in your life, Cindy?
Oh, that's a beautiful question, Mitzi. Very few people ask quality questions like that. What motivates me in my life now? Because in a few weeks' time, I have my 60th birthday. And I've never been more excited for life. And I've never been more excited with what it is that I do in my life. And I think what motivates me now is two key things. Number one is growth. I'm, on the Gallup strength poll. I'm very motivated by learning and evolving and becoming that next best version of myself for the greater good of our community. I think more than ever with the external factors going on, we need more inspiration, motivation, and good people. And the second thing is contribution. So being able to leave a legacy and giving back to our community. I have 25 years business experience. I've worked at a number of different levels, and there's this opportunity for people to sharing that wisdom to actually for me to spread that word around. Hence me talking to you on this podcast to say, here's all this knowledge and wisdom, just use it freely. If you take one little thing from this, then I get greater joy out of seeing other people's growth and success now. I've been very fortunate in my life to create great success. And so I'm just happy sharing it now. Very happy. So motivates me. My big Labrador at the start of the day, she's adorable. When you go out, when for the dog owners listening, they'll know. Whenever you see that little face coming at you and that big waggy tail, life is good, right?
Yeah, most definitely. My dog recently passed away.
Oh,
And yeah, he died in his sleep. I woke up one morning to wake him up for his walk. In the morning, we do
oh,
our little separate thing, and he was just there, like sleeping like nothing. I was just, my heart broke. My heart broke. I was in denial
oh,
at first, but my heart broke when I realized, like, yeah, he's passed, but at least he passed in his sleep. So I'm very
yeah.
honored that he died peacefully. He wasn't in pain, and he's in a better place. But I know exactly what you mean. That smiley face, that joy, that waggly tail, just
Mm,
like they're just happy because they know you're alive. You know what I mean? They're just
that's it.
happy knowing that you're their person. You know what I mean? Like you're my person. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy that you're, oh my goodness. Animals just brings you this sense of joy that is unexplainable. Like when you have that pet, it's truly becomes like a part of you in such a way that brings you joy, and then it makes you realize, you know what, I gotta keep going for that face, for that lovely furry face that gives me kisses, and you know what I mean, and snuggles me when I don't even think I deserve it. You know what I mean? They really do love you in a way that makes you realize that you are loved, you are whole, you are amazing. Like if an animal that has no intelligence for per human's perspective, then what makes you think that you're not whole and perfect and beautiful as you are as an individual, as a human being living, breathing on this earth, you know? So I most definitely value that. And I also like how you talked about just growing and evolving. I mean, you're about to turn 60 and you still have so much life in you. You know what I mean? So it just shows like people don't need to think that their life is over if they hit 40. What? You're not even halfway there yet. Just keep on going. There's so much more life to live. There's so many more chapters in your book. There's so many more ways to evolve. And I liked how you also said earlier about taking action. And I think that is one thing that a lot of people don't realize, like taking action on your emotions when you feel it is something important, or taking actions on whatever that's going on in your situation, moving that step forward does does so much work within us that we don't even realize it. Like, oh, if I woke up in the morning and I didn't feel like working out, but I still did it, that's growth, because at the end of the day, once I'm done, I'm realizing, you know what? I am proud that I did this. I am so proud of myself. And it's like a lot of people don't realize the hidden jewels, you know what I mean? The little blessings that's in this knowing of mindfulness and just understanding this is part of your emotional wealth. So for you, what is another hidden gem or maybe a misconception that people don't realize when it comes to their emotions?
No, thank you. Action is everything, Mitzi. Well said. There's so many people that we read so much, and when you say, I should eat the right food, or I should drink 2 liters of water, or what have you, right? People go, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Okay, so they actually know it. It's just about actually taking the action. Now, another hidden gem from my perspective is actually in terms of meditation. Um,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
most people with meditation would say, "Look, I've tried it, and it doesn't work for me because my brain is so much. I've done it for a few days in a row, and it was just really hard because I can't stop thinking." That would be the key thing. They actually believe that mastering meditation is about stopping thinking. And that's a really key myth that we need to get rid of. The concept of when you meditate that you actually stop thinking, you don't. Let's just chuck that out. So,
Yeah.
meditation is about practicing bringing the mind to a single task.
Mm.
And the practices itself is just to watch it with kindness and compassion and love. Wander off and get distracted at the bright, shiny thing, the sound, or, thought about your shopping list, or, my God, I can hear the dog barking in the background, and just practice bringing it back to whatever is the meditation task that you have at hand. And in doing so, you get better at focusing on a single task. And in doing that, then your brain waves and your mind activity is less. And there is less kind of madness racing around in your mind. And there is just that single thing that you do, whether that's reading or listening to a loved one or singing along to a song or walking in a park and enjoying the birds and the trees or focusing on a work task. Meditation is about practicing the single task. So I'd love to, get rid of that concept of it being about it's not thinking. I can't do it because my brain's too busy. I know. We're not trying to stop you from thinking. Your brain's magnificent. Let's just accept that and acknowledge that. Yeah. It's kind of like
Uh,
a riderless horse.
yeah.
I wrote a piece yesterday about it being like a beautiful, mare that is racing through the wild, just racing off in all different directions, causing all sorts of havoc. And this is about you getting on the saddle and just saying, yeah, you're magnificent. Let's just point you down the one path rather than you racing off everywhere.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's a great point because you're absolutely right. People think of meditation and think it's supposed to be completely silent. It's supposed to, your mind's not supposed to think of anything. It's supposed to be like a
Good
blankness
luck with
inside.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Like good luck with that. And it's beautiful how you use that for the jewel and the misconception because it is when you have the time to actually meditate and just give yourself that time of silence and serenity, that right there just sets the tone for your day, sets a tone for whatever direction that you're going, and it develops something within you that you don't even realize that you need. And then the fact that you're like, it's a misconception that you need to stop thinking, like you're absolutely right. I love that. I love that because you're like you said, people think of it the wrong way, but I think it's like a good excuse to not do it. You know what I mean? Like it's a good excuse to just not even try because the thought of even not going is just, oh, I can't do it. So it's like, yeah, we need to let that go and realize it's about just staying so focused on one task. And I think we have lost that because in the early 2010s, it was all about multitasking, multitasking. Everybody can do everything at once. And how many things can you do at once? And all these things. And we went through this rat race for so many years about doing so many things at once. And now it's like, can you just do one thing? And can you do it well? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And and people don't realize that. Like you can't even do one single thing now that you can't even just do well. Just sit down even for 5 minutes. Give yourself 5 minutes. You owe yourself 5 minutes of silence. You know what I mean? But please go ahead and say what you're gonna say. I apologize.
yeah, no, don't apologize. Look, multitasking is a misconception. Our brains can't actually multitask, and in attempting to, we actually fatigue the brain fastest than any other activity. So if we switch from, if we're going from checking an email onto a phone call, onto writing a deep piece, and then switching back to opening an email, and then answering a question from someone, and then this concept of juggling, and I'm a great multitasker, and like women are brilliant at everything. Let's just make that just an override. We'll just agree on that truth, right? Regardless
Yeah.
of where you are in the world, if you're a woman, you're brilliant, and there's beautiful men around the place as well. But multitasking causes your brain to switch from one side to the other, to the other, to the other, and it fatigues it really quickly. And you get to the end of the day with incredible mental fatigue, and you go to burnout really quickly. So staying focused on one task and just making sandwiches for the kids' lunches in the morning, right? The
Yeah.
task that most parents have to do, or
Yeah.
sitting down and just listening to a little one while they offload about how important it is that their Lego didn't get put together the way it needed to be.
Exactly.
But we'll
People
leave you
don't
in
realize
a
that.
calmer mind, a more open-hearted space, and enjoy it. Washing dishes can be enjoyable. Really enjoy.
It is. That is my go-to. Like I get upset when people want to take my dishes away. Like, because when I go
Oh,
in
I love you,
there,
Miss. I just
you know
love
what I
you.
mean? I can do that when I go to parties, when I go to events, I'm the one like, you need help to clean up? Like I'm one to solicit my cleaning services because cleaning has always been something that has got me so calm because you see the beginning and where it ends and you realize, wow, this is just it feels so good knowing that it's clean, like it's done. So yes, I know exactly what you mean. Just doing something as doing the dishes. I even heard somebody say when they're ironing their clothes, it's just calming for them. You know what I mean? It's complete zen. So it's just being focused in what you're doing and just do it. You know what I mean? Don't even do I think about anything else because when it happens, it's happened. It's just being more present and having that present awareness, being mindful, being like considerate, having that self-compassion, knowing that you're not an octopus with eight arms trying to tackle everything at once. You know what I mean? Most definitely taking that all into consideration that we're just human beings doing the best that we can and we're whole, amazing humans as we are. And there's nothing that we need to do. Just accept ourselves for who we are and just be present. So, yeah, Cindy, oh, I'm so sad that time is catching up to us. I could just talk to you about life. Oh, I'm enjoying this. I knew it was going to be a good conversation. Oh, and what can be some lasting words that you can leave us off with to keep on thinking, Cindy?
Oh, thank you, Mitzi. It's been wonderful to be able to talk to you and your audience. I think one of the most powerful things that I heard when I was younger is that there is nobody on this planet, and there never will be anybody just like you. You are a complete one-off, and that's a very powerful beast. No one will ever walk the same way that you do. There will never be this replica of you, and I think there's something quite beautiful about that. To say that the unique piece in your business or your life or your family is not what you sell or the services that you give or your skills or your education or it is really about your uniqueness. That is your unique selling point, your USP. And to really embrace that and bring that full, authentic self to the front and center of your life is a very, very excuse me, very empowering piece. So, embracing that for the betterment of our community is probably what I'd like.
Absolutely. Yeah. Those are great words to keep us all thinking because I don't think people realize how unique we really are. We're like a masterpiece. You know what I mean? If you were to go to an art gallery and walk around, you see all these masterpieces, all these one of a kind pieces. And that's what we are as humans. We really are a masterpiece. We are unique in ourselves, in all that we are, and all that we embody, and all that we represent, and all that we give out into the world. And even if you're a twin or triplet or whatever, you're still unique. That mind inside your head is only in yours. You know what I mean? I seen an article where it said that you can get every part of your body transplant and change, but the only thing that won't work is your brain. Like you can't transplant a brain, because that is unique in itself. That's one operator. That is all that you are and all that you have. And if you can just know that you have breath in your lungs, a heart beating, and a functioning brain, then you are unique and you have purpose and your value is irreplaceable. So, yeah, thank you so much, Cindy. I truly appreciate this. And, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this conversation, because how could you not? Go check out Cindy. I have her access to her website. In the description, you'll find access to her links, access to all of the greatness that she has to offer the world so that you can continue on thinking. So, with that being said, bye.